Welcome to Communism Today. I'm your host, Jordan Marr. Today we're going to be talking about the Berlin airlift and the Berlin blockade. Our first expert in the field is renowned Cornell professor, Alice Wallyberg. He's going to be talking to us about communism. Mr. Alice Wallyberg to the field, stage. Mr. Wallyberg,
How's it going,
honored
Janice?
to have you
Sorry,
today.
Jordan.
Oh, Alice, please take a seat. And our other guest today will be our rather unorthodox but world-renowned special guest, Jenny Doremus. He's going to be coming down here to talk to us about communism.
Let's go!
Very nice to see you today, Mr. Doremus. Jenny. Mr. Wallyberg.
Please, Alice.
Alice, tell us a little bit about what happened during the Berlin blockade.
So let me start with what happened directly after World War II. Germany was split up into 4 sectors between the Soviet Union, France, Great Britain, and America. And within these 4 sectors was Berlin. Berlin was within the Soviet sector of Germany. And what Berlin was, it was broken up
Dr.
into
Doremus,
West.
are you eating chicken?
I have low blood sugar.
This is a live
Are
show,
you-
Doctor. Please take the
Dr.
chicken.
Doremus.
I'm sorry, do you want me to pass out here?
I want you to.
No, I don't think you understand. This is a real disease.
I'm
I
sorry,
need
I'm
to
sorry,
eat my
I'm
chicken.
sorry, I understand.
Yeah.
Dr. Doremus,
Yeah.
can I please
Hey,
get back to
listen,
my...
listen. Shut up.
Yeah, so we didn't have enough money to get sponsored or get a commercial, so I got this sword. Yeah, it's a good sword, you know. I make sandwiches with it. Cut my steak with it. So yeah. There you go.
To Communism Today with Jordan Marr. We just came back from commercial break. Dr. Doremus is gone to take care of his dog and his low blood pressure, but we're going to continue the show. Mr. Wallyberg, you were
Alice.
saying, Alice. I'm sorry, Alice. What were you saying about the Berlin blockade?
So I was talking about Berlin.
Mm.
And Berlin is broken up into 2 sections after this. It is West Berlin and East Berlin. East Berlin is controlled by communism, and that's with the Soviet Union,
Right.
of course. West Berlin is free and democratic. So as you probably know, West Berlin, in the heart of all the communism, it's surrounded by the rest of the Soviet sector of Germany. The Democrats want to, and people supporting democracy, they really wanted to keep this as a shred of hope that this democracy could spread and eventually destroy communism.
Mhm.
So what the communists decided to do is they decided to institute a blockade on all the goods coming from the railway, coming from trains, trucks, coming in and out on the ground into West
To start
Berlin.
with supplies.
Yeah, to suffocate them from their supplies so that they would end up having to leave that area, having to give it up, go away. But what the United States, France, and Germany did was they decided to airlift supplies into this area. And in the end, they actually airlifted for over 320 days. They would average over 200,000 flights in total.
200,000 flights per
200.
day or over the
Over
320
the days.
Mm.
Over 320 days. It was very long. It was a very dedicated effort for them to keep this area, which is another reason why we can see that it is so significant and such an important part of the minds of these democratic nations.
Mm.
And so they would end up flying over up to 4,700 tons of supplies a day.
Wow.
Sometimes.
How many planes would that have been?
There were so many planes. I mean,
So many.
you take it, hundreds, thousands of planes a
Mhm.
day. And they would fly. There were 3 air corridors that the Soviets allowed them to come through.
Mhm.
These air corridors were through Hamburg, Duisburg, and Frankfurt.
Mm. What's going on?
Dr.
Dr. Doremus
not again.
has returned from his technical difficulties.
not again.
Jenny, it's great to have you on set again. Could you sit down very quickly?
No way, man.
Jenny, could you please? Jenny!
Can we get someone to clean up the sweatshirt, please?
Somebody.
Okay.
What are you talking about,
I was just...
Continue.
I was just
No, bro.
sorry. That's very inconsiderate. You know, there are some
What
people
else is
there.
inconsiderate? Your face.
Okay.
Very good
Dr.
one.
Doritos, please.
Very good
No,
one.
I'm saying this guy sounds like a communist.
Very good one.
This is
Jenny.
Communism Today.
Oh my.
Yes.
I thought this was McDonald's.
No. Calm down.
Jenny. Jenny, I was just giving I'm a historian first
I'm
of
sorry,
all.
can I figure out right here? Only my friends call me Jenny. You are not my friend. You are not even my acquaintance.
Okay, Dr. Doritos.
I have a certain set of skills
Dr. Doritos.
I've acquired over the years. After this show is over, I will find you, and I will kill you.
Dr. Doritos, please calm down. Jenny,
Okay,
calm down.
Dr. Doritos.
Alex,
Let's-
continue.
Let's put. So what shall I call you?
What?
What shall I call you then?
Call me Doctor Professor.
Alright, I'm gonna leave.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Just kidding. I'm the one who's filming the video. Anyway, if you're watching this video, Mar probably just left the room. Am I right? Of course I'm right. I'm editing the video as I'm filming this because we don't have enough money for a commercial. This is just filler time, so enjoy the rest of the film. Thank
Alex,
you.
What were you saying about the Berlin blockade?
So I was talking about the three only air channels that we were allowed to use as set by the Soviets to bring in supplies to West Berlin so that they could survive through this blockade. As I was saying, that was Hamburg, Buchberg, and Frankfurt.
I'm sorry not to interrupt you. Don't you also mean Hebrew National?
What?
Are you talking about food brands?
We're talking
This is
about air
Communism
channels.
Today, Professor Doctor.
We're talking about air channels.
Oh, I'm sorry. Continue. I'm sorry
Please,
about that.
continue,
Can I
Alex.
please just finish?
Yes, sorry.
So they used those only three channels to be able to bring in to use all those flights. So there were tons going daily through sort of the same airspace. So they would fly at different altitudes, and that was just bringing in the tons of supplies that they were. And that took a joint effort. It was a combination of mainly Great Britain, France, and the United States, but it was a bunch of other areas.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did I just hear you associate America with France? Dude. Wait, man, I didn't know you were,
That's history.
I didn't know you were funny, man. I didn't know that's a good joke.
I didn't know I was
Doctor,
funny either.
doctor.
I'm just saying history.
France is good for two things: Eiffel Tower and baguettes. In
Okay,
no
please.
way do they help us. No, he's getting history wrong. Everyone knows America's #1. We did all the heavy lifting. France maybe like carried a gun, like one gun at most. Those baguette loving freaks cannot do anything.
Okay, Professor, continue, please.
Okay. Alice. Let's get Alice.
Alex, right.
So neither country wanted to start a war. So in the end, nobody was going to make a move to prevent either the blockade or the airlift from happening, as that would have launched nukes, and eventually throughout time they gathered enough nukes, and they would have even faster if war did erupt, that they could have destroyed the world 7 times over. That is the
Right,
number.
that's what I heard.
Yes. So as neither side wanted to intervene with the other, and the United States clearly was not going to stop this airlift, although it cost massive resources, massive amounts of money, time, personnel, everything you could imagine that would go into that. Eventually, after those 320 plus days, the Soviet Union lifted the blockade, and it was effectively ended, and the supplies could now be brought through on the ground, through the railroads. There were more air channels opened up that they could fly supplies in, even though that wasn't used as often, obviously.
Right.
So yeah, that's basically what happened during the Berlin airlift and blockade.
Anything to add to what Alice has provided us?
Yes, I do actually. Thank you for asking. Do you mind if I just get a quick lift in?
Quick what?
Lift. Oh yeah, like
Can
big
we-
bicep. You
We're
look over
live.
there?
We're
You're pretty
live.
boy.
See
You know
this?
that?
That's
You see the
irrelevant.
green light? It means
Sorry,
we're live.
anyway. As communism
Right,
was
yes,
gaining popularity in Soviet Russia, we knew that we had to counteract this force by sending in our finest soldier. Now, I know what you're thinking, Captain America, but no. We had to send in a guy born and raised right here in Philadelphia. We sent in Rocky Balboa, the Italian stallion. Now, the reason for this was after Ivan Drago, the boxing champion of the Soviet Union, came to America, he defeated one of our own, Apollo Creed. Angered by this, Rocky had to go over and prove that America was the #1 country. Through his hard work and dedication, and through beating Ivan Drago, not only did he win the match, he won the hearts of the Soviet Union and helped end communism.
Now, this is obviously very different from the
That's
account
just
you've
false.
given us. Do you have
It's
any
not-
evidence or witnesses?
I
to back
do
up
have a
your
witness,
claim?
in fact. Let me just gonna send call over. Webster, come here, boy. Come here, boy. Come here, Webby. Oh, here he is. He's an expert. Okay, Webby. What happened in Soviet Russia? What happened in Soviet Russia? Did Rocky end communism? Okay, he ended communism. Anyway, I don't know if you can speak his language, but I can. He agrees with me. Rocky did end communism in Soviet Russia.
I'm sorry. I just failed to see the validity of that.
I'm sorry, I don't see how my statement is any less valid than yours.
Mine's
I had an
acceptable.
expert. What did you have? Yeah,
Facts.
yeah. What good is that in this discussion?
All right, can we? So what's the significance of this event?
So,
Different.
I'll let
events,
Pretty
is
Boy answer this one.
so the significance of this was the first major crisis of the Cold War, and it was basically showed that there were going to be a lot of troubles and a lot of tension and friction between the United States and the Soviet Union during this Cold War, and it was gonna be tough to resolve the whole thing. It would take a lot of time, as it did. You have to agree with that one.
No,
Because that's
actually,
just true.
what this event showed was that Rocky Balboa has a wicked left fist. I don't know if you saw it there. Some blows to the midsection, blows to the head, just deadly. But yeah, USA #1. What else is there to say? Am I right?
Right, USA #1.
I think we can all end on that note.
All right, well, if you have nothing else to say, thank you for tuning in to tonight's segment of Communism Today. I'm your host, Jordan Marr. We've had Dr. Alice Wallyberg and Dr. Professor
Jenny
Dorinos. I'm very sorry.
You should be.
Come back next week. We're going to talk about food.
You see, even though the video is over, history never ends, and neither does communism. It's still out there, and we need to stay true to our American hearts and just uphold the American code of honor and valor. Also, get a sword, because not only makes you feel safer, I think you look like a badass. That's just me. Final words: clear eyes, full heart, can't lose. Yeah, after that, what else is there to say? USA #1.